Hello besties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new. I'm so excited that you're here because we're going to be talking about all of the books that I've bought recently. There's a lot of them. I think we have about 20 books to go through. I do also have an Amazon package that's supposed to be delivered today. It was actually supposed to be delivered earlier this week and I delayed filming this video because I was expecting it to come in. It hasn't come in yet, so if you find that the camera angle like changes a little bit at some point during this video, it's because we got book mail. Be sure to grab a coffee, tea, water snack and let's talk about some books. The fall tends to be the time when I buy the most books out of like any season. I don't know why, but typically I get most excited for fall book releases. I guess we're just gonna start at the top of the pile that's sitting in front of me. So the first one, and I have talked about this book quite a bit in like TBRs, especially my October TBR, I definitely mentioned this, and that is A Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft. This is dark academia. It's sapphic. We have academic rivals that are on an expedition together, but while they're on this expedition, murders are happening. They're trying to find a magical spring that promises untold power, and the king wants to harness that power in order to secure his reign over the embattled country of Brunestad. So she's trying to continue this expedition to this spring. Suspects are the 5 remaining expedition mates, each with their own motive for the murder. The only person Lorelai knows must be innocent is her longtime academic rival, the insufferably gallant and maddeningly beautiful Sylvia von Wolf. Now in charge of the expedition, Lorelai must find the spring before the murderer strikes again and a coup begins in earnest. So we will see about this one, but I'm very excited to get to it. Then we have a 5-star prediction. I'm so excited. This is Paladin's Strength by T. Kingfisher. It's the second book of the Saint of Steel series. T. Kingfisher's romances are something that I never knew I needed. I feel like T. Kingfisher gets spoken a lot about with her horror books, but her romances are like top tier. These books in this series and Sword Heart, I will include in here as well, make me laugh out loud. They're so freaking funny. It's like a romantic comedy that's set in like the era of knights. They're amazing and incredible. And I'm also sorry, this is so shiny that I feel like I'm blinding you, but it is a pretty cover. We love her. So I'm hoping to read this month actually. Then a book that I have already read but I hauled recently is Us in Ruins by Rachel Moore. This was an author I fell in love with when I read Library of Shadows, which is such an amazing fall read. Please read Library of Shadows. This is like the Lizzie McGuire movie mixed with The Mummy. It's a YA romance. It takes place in Italy, which gives you the Lizzie McGuire movie vibes. There's no singing, there's no pop stars. Instead, we follow a little archaeologist girly who is kind of romanticizing this old myth that she's familiar with of finding the vase of Venus. The vase of Venus is supposed to be a cursed vase. It's been broken for a long time, but if you put it back together, people just like love to be around you and want to fall in love with you. So our main character, Margot Rhodes, has her own motives for wanting this vase, and she ends up running into this statue of a boy called Van Keen. She has his journal and that's what she's been like following along this whole time. He is 100 years lost to the world. He disappeared while trying to find this vase of Venus. She brings the statue back to life. Turns out it is Van Keen, and they go on a little expedition together to find this vase. It's very cutesy. It's very, very YA. It definitely reads on the younger side of YA, but it's a really super fun time. This would be good for like summertime, but I bought it recently because it just came out in September. Then we have Immortal Dark, the book that has been highly debated, even though so many people had it on their most anticipated like book releases for this year. I give this book 4 stars. Immortal Dark by Tejas Gurma. This is our book club book for the Who Did This To book club in September. I really enjoyed this. This is like a 9th, it says like the description that got me was it's 9th house mixed with Cruel Prince, but make it vampires. I totally agree with that. I hesitate to call them unlikable characters because I love them, but they are characters that are going through a lot of pain. And if you ever have heard the phrase hurt people, that applies to this book. Like, we have a main character who is just grieving, lonely, and violent. Violence is definitely a theme that carries throughout this whole book, which I think complements vampires really quite well. But this was a debut book, I believe, for Tejas Gurma, and it's a series as well. So I'm hopeful that the pacing and just overall writing style will get a little bit better and a little bit better with each book that comes out for the series. I'm definitely gonna pick up book 2. And all that to say, I enjoyed this writing style. Like, there's so much potential in here. I really loved it. I thought it was a very strong writing style. It just wasn't like perfect. It was so close to being there though. Like, I just think a little bit more polished and it's gonna be amazing. That's why, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for book 2 in the series, because we got a big twisty turny at the end of this. Not necessarily a cliffhanger, because it didn't like fully just leave you in full suspense, but we had some interesting new characters added to the story right at the very end, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Then we have another series book. I just picked this up the other day, and that is A Reign of Rose by Kate Golden. This is the 3rd and finale book in the Sacred Stones trilogy. This series has magic, it has dragons. I am so excited to get to this final book. The first book in this series is Dawn of Onyx. I think that this series is a little bit more like well known. In the first book, she loses her family and then has to like negotiate to get them back by going into the Onyx Kingdom, which has a reputation of being extremely dangerous and violent and scary. And she has to negotiate with this like shadow prince who obviously has a reputation for being nefarious and just a shadow daddy, to be honest. I think that's like the best summary I can give of the first book. But anyways, very excited to finish this trilogy. Then we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is our Who Did This To book club pick for October. We have seen everybody screaming, crying, throwing up about this book that we needed to know. Like, we had FOMO and we needed to figure out what was going on with this. This is so perfect for October. We have our main character, Ophelia. They discover their mother, who has passed away. She's from a family of necromancers. So when the main necromancer witch type being passes, they have to pass their magic on to the next in line, which is Ophelia. So she has just come into this necromancer magic. Her mother has just died, and then they find out that their house is in peril. Their mother is in some financial issues. And so in order to solve all of these problems, there is this very Caraval-esque, except make it so much more creepy and like haunted house and scary, competition called Phantasma that comes to their town. The winner gets a wish granted from the devil himself or something along those lines. And so Ophelia ends up entering into this deadly haunted house competition where it uses your worst fears against you in order to survive. Most contestants, if they don't drop out, they die. So the stakes are very, very high. It's definitely giving Caraval-esque, but make it like dark fantasy romance. And this is new adult, so it's very, very spicy. It's so fun. It's so much freaking fun. I feel like a summary almost isn't even needed because I know that everybody and their mother is talking about this book recently, but I'm about 50% of the way through and I'm having a really wonderful time. So we had to get a physical copy. The next book, I do already own an edition of this, but I owned a paperback copy that had like a permanent sticker on it, and that just couldn't be. Because the reason I bought this book is to annotate it. I read it for the first time on audio and immediately said, I need to own this book and I need to annotate it because I love the writing style so freaking much. And that's The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. I'm not gonna give more of a description than that because I feel like I've talked about this book a million bajillion times and I just bought another edition of it. So there's that. And it's a hardcover and it's like the classic cover, which is really nice. And I ordered it off of Pango and she's beautiful. So I can't wait to annotate her soon. I screamed when I found out that Sabaa Tahir was giving us, first of all, a new release in any capacity, because Sabaa Tahir is one of my favorite authors of literally all time. I love her, even though she hurts my feelings and my heart. I love her. I keep coming back for more Torment. I Can't Stop Myself. Air by Sabaa Tahir. This takes place in the same world as An Ember in the Ashes series, and that's one of my favorite series of all time. We follow 3 characters in this book from very different backgrounds. So we follow Aze, who grew up in the Kajari slums. We follow Saoirse, who is banished from her people for an unforgivable crime, and we follow Quill, who is the crown prince of the empire and nephew of a venerated empress. I'm very curious about Quill because he is a nephew from one of the characters in the An Ember in the Ashes series, so I need that connection. All I know is that this is going to be emotional devastation, and I can't remember actually, but I think that this is a standalone. I need to double check myself on that though, but air. I literally cannot wait for this. I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which is this like light blue, and then the map on the inside is also light blue, and the cover detailing and the spine is also light blue. I almost got the Walmart edition of this. I actually went to Walmart the other day to pick up some other books, and I was looking at the purple. There's this like purple and pink, and I was like, do I get 2 editions of the same book? I never do that, but I was like, it's Saba and I want to support my queen in any way that I can. So I might go back and purchase the pink and purple copy, but we have this one for now. Next up is a Fairy Loot edition, and this is Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I have seen some of my friends freaking out about this book, so I'm curious to get to it. It's a Why Choose romance, and I think it's inspired by, Beauty and the Beast. It's spicy. It has enchanted fae, morally great characters, a sinfully hot villain, and a princess who has found her Prince Charming, all 4 of them. This is, I mean, Fairy Loot just does a really great job with all of their editions. There's roses on the sprayed edges. I don't know if it's picking that up. There's roses on the sprayed edges, and then roses on the hardcover as well. And then we have some really cool end pages. I need to know who this masked man is. I feel like he might be my favorite of the love interest, because we have those 2, and then we have the other 2. And also this one is giving Milo from Atlantis, another one of my crushes. So we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited to get to it. Also, the foiling on that as well is Gorgina. Another author who I believe is going to hurt my feelings. I have never read anything by Robin Hobb before, so I decided to pick this up. I am planning on starting my Robin Hobb journey soon, but I might save this for 2025 because like it might be kind of stunning to start January of 2025 with what I am predicting to be a new favorite author, a 5-star read. I live, laugh, love for a character-driven story, so I think that will be this. So I'm starting with Assassin's Apprentice. I know that we follow young Fitz. He's the bastard son of a noble prince, and I know that people love Fitz. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know too much going into these. I just want to like experience them for myself. So we have her. We're flying through this. I had to pick up another book by Elsie Silver. This has been the year of Elsie Silver for me. I have read the most books from Elsie Silver out of any author. There's a lot of authors that I've read 3 books from this year. I think Elsie is currently at 4, but I still have to read Hopeless from the Chestnut Spring series. I've been putting it off because I'm like devastated that the Chestnut Spring series is going to be over after I finish Hopeless. So that is why I purchased Wild Love, because I need like something on deck for her to read. And so this is a different series that has a lot of tropes. It's a billionaire romance, single dad, best friend's sister is a trope. I think she's like a nanny, questionable. But yes, lots of tropes for this one. They all sound amazing. I can't wait. This is giving, I think, similar vibes to like a Cade and Willa setup. I have An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. The first book that I read by Alexis Henderson was Year of the Witching, which was so scary. Like highly, highly recommend Year of the Witching. It was so freaking good. So I'm excited to get back into her writing. This one is Dark Academia. We have a student, her name is Lennon Carter. Her life is falling apart. She's falling on hard times, but she gets a mysterious phone call to take an entrance exam for Drayton College, which is a hidden school of magic. I'm waiting for my letter to take an entrance exam to a hidden school of magic. Like, when is that coming? It takes place in a secret pocket of Savannah, Georgia, which vibes immaculate. Lennon was chosen because she has this unnatural gift of persuasion, so she can kind of, I don't know if it's like bending people's minds, but she can make anyone do anything that she wants. She's very convincing. So she passes the test. She begins to learn how to master her devastating and unsettling power. Oh my gosh, the campus is described as lush, moss-draped campus with like willow trees everywhere. Oh my gosh, I literally cannot. She's captivated by the school, by her fellow peers, but even more captivated by her charismatic advisor, Dante, who both intimidates her and enthralls her. As Lennon continues her study, her control grows. She starts to uncover more about the secret world that she's entered into, including the disquieting history of Drayton College. She is increasingly disturbed by what she learns, for it seems that the ultimate test is to embrace absolute power without succumbing to corruption. It sounds very character driven, even if this is like a slower pace and we're just like in this atmosphere, in this setting. I hope that it's really vibey and I can't wait to get to it. It would be perfect for October, but I'm not sure I'll be able to squeeze it in this month. But I feel I can still read Dark Academia in November, so we'll see. We'll see when I get to this, but hopefully it will be soon. Hi besties, it is a little bit later. We have one more book to talk about. The other ones have not arrived yet, but I'll tell you what they were. So I have A Touch of Poison by Claire Sager. Y'all, I ordered a couple trophy books. I read A Kiss of Iron and A Touch of Poison on my Kindle, and I love this series. And the final book, I think, in this trilogy comes out in December, and I can't freaking wait for it. And I was like, you know what? I want these physical books because I had so much fun reading this series this year that I was like, we deserve a trophy book. The covers are so pretty as well. This one's purple, the other one is red. So I have A Kiss of Iron on the way. We have A Touch of Poison. This is a fae romantasy series. In the first book, I will leave the vlog where I read the first book here and down below, so that way you can go watch it if you would like. But we follow our main character, Kat, and she has fallen on hard times. She's trying to survive and like live in this manor and maintain this manor. Her husband has abandoned her because he's a piece of garbage trash and he has like gambled away all of their money. And she gets an offer to go to this like fae court, compete in this competition that will win money to help her manor and her like staff stay afloat. And her staff is basically her family. Like, she loves them so much. She also moonlights as this like alter ego person to steal from the rich to like help her and everyone that lives at her manor with her. So she goes to court. She ends up being a like spy for one of the spy masters, and she gets assigned to this target. His name is Bastian. He's a fae like representative for his queen, but he's also like this like shadowy like spy master for his like fae queen, and they end up like spying on each other. And then also she's competing in this deadly competition, and there's sabotage, and it's just like so freaking juicy. I hesitate to call it like a Regency type, but that first book does lend well to that Regency because they get dressed up in gowns and there are these like soirees that are crazy and evocative, and it gets the people going. It is insane. So that book is so fun. This is the second book. I'm definitely gonna buy the third book as well. I just wanted these on my shelves. The other trophy book that I did order was The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia, which I read recently in this vlog and linked down below as well. And I can't wait for the second book for that one. So it's not hurting my reading my entire physical TBR before the end of the year challenge because like I've already read these, you know what I mean? So anyways, that is my little mini book haul for fall, friends. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I post every single week, and I will catch you in the comments. I'll see you in my next one.